right, so let's talk about a month in review. We've had an exciting month. A little bit of rest from the Floyd's fish fry that I think knocked a lot of us for a loop. It was a lot of hard work and a very successful event, but you know what? Democracy still needs to go on. So as a quick financial update, we are still in a very decent shape. But I also want to let you know that we're about to kick off a sponsorship program. So what has been a dream of mine ever since I became the chair was to have a permanent office space for the Greenwood County Democratic Party. An office space where we can store our materials, an office space where we could hold meetings and do phone banking and invite candidates in to do strategy sessions and allow them to set up shop. I don't know that we could afford a space like this to hold big meetings, but to have a permanent home is the sign of a good, strong party. But to do that, we need to make sure that we have a steady stream of quote-unquote income so that we can pay the bills for rent, for internet, for electricity, for water and utilities, etc. So our goal is to hit $1,100 a month in regular contributions. We hit that goal, then we can go shopping and get ourselves a permanent home without any problem whatsoever. We already have our real estate agent lined up. We're not looking to buy property. We are looking to rent at this time. But we do have some people who are on the lookout for us. But we have to hit that goal first. I don't want to sign a dotted line and have us not be able to meet our financial obligations accordingly. So I ask you, whether it's $5 a month, whether it's $100 a month. Heck, if you've got $1,100 a month, well, I won't say no to that either. Get us right to that goal right away. But you can do so through our Act Blue account. On our brochures, on our agendas that you have, you will see in the bottom right corner of one of the pages a QR code. Who here knows what a QR code is? All right, that means you guys are smart. You know what's going on in the world of technology, but it's that weird-looking two-dimensional barcode. You scan that with that camera of yours, it'll take you to our Act Blue page, and you can put in some information and make a monthly contribution. To date, we are receiving around $350 a month through regular contributions. If we can get 10 more people, 20 more people doing $5, $10, or $15 a month, boy, that will get us to our goal. And I would love to be able to hold a ribbon cutting ceremony debuting our new facility. So help me make that dream come to reality and spread the word. We'd be grateful and very appreciative. And of course, we will put all of that to great use. One of the biggest events that occurred in the last month was County Council has District 5 up for election. The special election is on December 28th, and Sloan Griffin, who's the proprietor and owner of the Ideal Shoe Shop right here in Uptown, got the nomination for the Democratic candidate. He's the Democratic nominee. So I want us all to support Sloan. Is there anybody here who knows that they are in Greenwood County District 5? We've got one, two, but will you be 18 by December 28th? No? All right, that's unfortunate. You needed to be born a couple months earlier. All right, we'll try better next time. All right, but we want to get out the vote for Sloan, and if you want to get on his campaign team or volunteer to make calls or do mailings or knock on doors, you should do so. Now, to help with the turnout, we did send out 100 postcards. We did make 100 phone calls to get out the vote in 96 area and other areas of District 5. So we want to do more of that, and we want to support Sloan with everything we have. So please be on the lookout, whether it is in our email newsletter, you'll see information about how you can contribute to his campaign, or check out his Facebook page. Also got some happy news. Hello, Denise. Wave your hand back there. Denise is our new Director of Voter Engagement, and it is going to be her job to help drive out the vote, to do voter registrations, to do voter education, to help drive that voter turnout, whether it's coordinating rides to the polls or making sure people know when elections are. Denise has the experience to do so. She's got the know-how, she's got the creative energy. So welcome, Denise. Thank you for joining the team. Part of that is the Search and Support Committee. We have a dedicated group of experienced individuals whose job is to search out potential candidates to run for all of the local offices. On the inside of your brochure, you can see all of the elected positions that are up in November of 2022. The partisan positions like State House Representative or Governor, filing for that begins in March and has a 2-week window. For the nonpartisan races, if there is such a thing anymore, for the nonpartisan races like City Council and County Council, that filing is not until August. School Board is another very important one. We met this past Thursday and started doing some strategizing. We were looking at the school board districts in particular. I want to share this with you. The school board is the new battleground. All right, if you've not been made aware of that, let me make that very clear. The school board is the new battleground. The last thing that we need, now I like our school board members for the most part. I think they do a decent job, regardless of how they vote in elections. But from what I've seen in the school board, they're doing okay. But the last thing that we need is extreme radical opinions clogging up that school board and not getting things done. If you see what's going on in Richland County, I don't know if people follow what's happening elsewhere in the state, that school board's falling apart. They're walking out in the middle of meetings, they're threatening lawsuits against each other because some fringe candidates have gotten on board and started taking over the proceedings. We cannot let that happen here in Greenwood County. So you can help out in a couple of ways. One, join our Search and Support Committee. If you're interested in going through names and maybe finding some great candidates for those open positions and strategizing on how to help them win, join us. Second way, and even better yet, run yourself. Right? We're there to support you. If you've never run for office before, it's not as hard as it sounds. Who here has run for office? Raise your hand. I know several have. And raise it proudly, too. You guys deserve all the praise for putting yourselves out there and running for office. It can be done, and it can be won. So take a look at those positions. If you're interested, come see me or see one of the members of our executive committee. We'll get you connected right away. Oh, there's a picture of a lady with a megaphone up on the screen. Who here knows who that is? Who's that? Shirley Chisholm. Why is she famous? Because I didn't know this until recently, but why is she famous?
First black woman to run for president.
Well, she's the first black person, not just one, but the first black person to throw herself in for a presidential nomination in 1976, I believe. Talk about the gumption and the spine that she had and the strength of character to be able to put herself like that. She was a congresswoman, but she says, you know what, I'm going to run for president. So I wanted to give her a little shout out that if she can do it, so can we. All right, next topic is redistricting. There's been some interesting news just in the last week. You may remember from a couple of months back, myself and some others throughout the state have been testifying at Senate redistricting hearings. So the South Carolina Senate, and remember Floyd Nicholson, he was our senator in Greenwood and adjacent counties for many years until last year. The Senate gets to pick and draw their own lines. And South Carolina is the only state in the country that has 0 laws on the books that govern how redistricting should happen. 0 laws, not a single line anywhere in the law books. Now, they have published guidelines and this is how we're going to do things, but without a law behind it, it doesn't mean anything. This is how it's drawn today. If you can see that, you see that finger that kind of comes down through from Anderson through Abbeville and into the heart of Greenwood County. I live in that finger, by the way, and I was shocked when I went to go vote, and I was like, who's this guy? I want to vote for Floyd, but I don't live in Floyd's district. I live in District 4. So that's what it looked like today, and I went and testified saying, look, there's really no reason to be giving Greenwood the finger. Let's see if we can do away with that. The state Senate staff has recently published what they come up with as a proposal. So what I'm about to show you is not final, but this is where their heads are at. So here's the new District 10. So let me explain this in words if you're having a tough time seeing it. All of Greenwood County is now in District 10, or would be in District 10 under this map. No more finger. All right, so Abbeville is completely cut off from Greenwood and is in its own Senate district. So is McCormick, so is Edgefield. They're all outside of District 10. But District 10 now runs through half of Saluda and into Lexington County, all along Lake Murray. So District 10 essentially is all of Greenwood, and also along the border of Lake Greenwood, and then all along the border with Lake Murray. So apparently, whoever is going to run for Senate in District 10 needs to be Aquaman, because it's all about the water, apparently. It's all about the lake properties and the lake real estate. But I don't know if that's necessarily an improvement. I'm glad the finger is gone, but to have what we have in common with Lexington County, I was just out there last weekend. It's a long drive.
It's not an improvement.
It's not.
Devastate, really. What they're doing to Big Hawk Putin's district is also bad.
The timeline between getting these district lines redrawn, between getting the House, and there's over 100 districts for House, 120 something for House, getting them redrawn, plus all of the school board districts, all of the county council districts, all of the city council districts, all the districts out there are going to be thrown up in the air and redrawn, and that needs to be done by January. Well, thank you. This shows us we need to be vigilant. If you want to stay on top of this, I ask you, follow our Facebook page. Make sure you're subscribed to our email newsletter. We're also on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, if that's your thing. But we want to try to keep everybody informed. As we get information, we want to put it out there. In fact, we got this information out on our Facebook page, and then the Index Journal had it in their publication the next morning. So we scooped them on that information. So please be on the lookout. Thank you, George. Speaking of newsletter, one of the things that we want to try to do to reach more of our constituents is have a printed and mailed newsletter. Not every month, can't afford it, but maybe every other month with critical scheduling information, updates as to what's going on, and to help draw out that interest. There are some of you here, and I won't ask you to raise your hand out of public shaming, but there are some of you who don't even have an email address. Shame. But I'm not going to make you shame yourself in public. There are some of you that don't even have a computer. Okay? We still want to reach you though. So, to keep our members informed, we want to start publishing in 2022 a printed newsletter. We're going to try a couple of things out to figure out what works best. Because of the costs involved, and it is going to be around $1.50 to $2 per letter to be mailed out and printed and all that, we may ask for a subscription fee. We figure maybe $10 a year would cover it annually for an individual, or take donations along that front. But I'm also looking for contributors. Right? So if you've got something you want to say, or you've got an essay or just a blurb or something, I would like you to participate. This should not be the chair's newsletter. It needs to be the party's newsletter. So I'll be looking for input from others. Finally, before we get to our speaker, I don't know if you saw this in the news, but our neighbors up north in Greenville, the GOP has updated their logo. Can you see that? How would you describe it? Can you see the little Trump hair? The little Trump wavy hair on top of the elephant? Now, I wish this was a joke. I mean, it is a joke, but it actually is real. You go to the GOP website for the Greenville County Republican Party, that is their new logo. They have gone all in on Trump to the point where they've updated their logo. Their website is one of the most hate-filled websites, not against liberals or Democrats, against their own Republicans. It's hateful. Rhino this and traitor that, and the old way was terrible. Wow, I read that and I felt like I had to take a shower afterwards. But I'm not going to let this go unchallenged. I went to the drawing board, and I am happy to unveil the new Greenwood County Democratic Party logo. What do you think? You like the Biden aviator glasses? You think we should go public with this? I'm liking it. I'm liking it.